everybody, welcome to the stream. Bogus Meat Factory. Today's a special night. We're gonna do some story time. Gather around the ye old computer monitor, television screen, smartphone devices, and listen to a tale, my friends. Storytime Sunday is where we're gonna share stories. It's gonna be probably like a once a month thing. Other Sundays might be going towards something else. But I wanted to take some time to talk about gaming firsts this month. Now, what games did you start playing? What was your first ones? Were they influential? What did they do special for you? How did they impact you? Other months will be all of the stories of my life in gaming, essentially. I have been playing games for 33 years now. Since I was 3. And I wanted to share all the interesting stories that I have about my life growing up playing games with my older brothers, and what kind of stuff influenced me. What did I find that were really engaging? And share those stories with you, but also having an overall topic that you all can participate in. So we're going to start the night doing some Atari 2600 games. And when I start seeing people in chat, since it's completely barren right now, I'll start sharing some stories. But yeah, we're going to do some Atari 2600. That's very exciting. So let's get that going right now. Let's see. Get a wonderful look at all of my stuff here. I don't know why it decided to move. There we go. So what do we start with? This is interesting. There's a lot of choices. McDonald's. Maze Craze. We do. Clacks on here? That's weird. Kaboom. Let's start with some simple stuff. Let's do some Breakout. Whoa. Right. Let's see how this goes. Oh, this is gonna be trouble. Oops. Different modes. Oh man, this is really wacky. Hold on, let's reset this. Oh my gosh, there's so many more modes. Let's just start there. Wow, this is so... Oh my gosh. Oh, I can use my mouse. We might do that for this. Classic Breakout. Whoa, Jesus. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Breakout's intense. Hold on. Let's change it to something else. Let's see. Oh, they got beat him and eat him. We're not gonna play that one. Barnstorming. That's a good one. I loved Barnstorming as a kid. Let's do that. Oops. Alright. The goal of this one is, of course, to fly through the barns and avoid the obstacles. Do the best that you can in the time allotted. All Activision. Back with simpler times, right? Yay! Barns are redeemed. I love how the sound of the propeller is muffled as you go in the barn. There we go. This is what really it's supposed to be like. Oh. There we go. Hard mode unlocked. Okay. Now I figured it out. Let's try another mode. Let's try 3. Birds. Oh my gosh, so many birds. Oof, that was rough. Try this again. Full blast. There we go. That was interesting. Hey, Vernon T, how's it going? You know what? I'll start sharing some stories. I'm gonna start playing one of the my very first game ever played as a kid, and that would be up in combat. I know I was playing just by myself. This is crazy, but let me tell you the story. It's like when I was a kid, right? I had 2 older brothers. Let me know how the volume is on this. Is it too loud? Is it too loud? Let's turn this down just a bit. I had 2 older brothers. They're way older than me. And like to paint a picture where we lived in this little downtown of this really small town in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. And we had this basement that housed nothing but a record player, a couch, and a black and white TV that had an Atari 2600 attached to it that we got as a hand me down from one of our relatives, one of my cousins. And I was like 2 years old, at the time. And I didn't know how to play games. My two older brothers were like 7 and like 10 years older than me, so they were much older than me. And so they would, handedly beat me. So what I would do as a kid is they'd let me play combat by myself, and I would just explore and just figure out how to play by myself, understanding the controls, movement, how to fire, that sort of thing, all on my own, and then I get to go play them in the end. It's good times. And this was the start of that competitive spirit that I had. When I was a kid, I'd always have to try to compete with my older brothers. They were super competitive. But me, I never got mad with losing. I always saw it as a learning experience. And doing something like this with combat was one of those things that kind of shaped how I played and viewed games. Understanding its intricacies, understanding the tactics behind it. I remember we'd rent video games on older system, or much newer systems after the Atari 2600, and I would read the manuals all of the time. That would be my go-to thing. They would play and hash it out against each other, and I would learn the controls and learn the special moves and learn all these things, so that when I would play against them, I had a one-up on them. So I would sit there with combat, and I'd fly around. I would take invisibles. Yeah, I would sit there with the planes and just fly around and just get used to the controls, how to play everything. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at this now. But yeah, and so I remember being so little, and like in this instance here, I remember playing, and my brothers would tell me that the big bomber was the best one, and it's not. The little ones are so much better in this situation. They fire 3 shots, and you have a giant target. And they would always trick me and try to find ways to beat me in things. Eventually, it came to a point where they just couldn't beat me, and no matter how hard they tried, and they were so competitive, they get so angry. My life was a living hell when playing video games against my brothers. Many a game controller was wrapped around my neck as they strangled me because they were so angry that I would beat them, and I was so much younger than them. And they didn't understand how things worked. They didn't understand how I was beating them and stuff. And so there was just stuff like getting angles right in shots in combat, playing things like Street Fighter, and understanding, having like overheads and doing ambiguous cross-ups, that sort of stuff that they didn't understand, and they'd get so confused by, and that was my bread and butter against them, to the point where when we played games against each other, I had to promise never to use like special moves in fighting games. I learned the meta, and I didn't know what it was called at the time, but I knew that like if I did a jump kick, a certain jump kick with a certain character in Street Fighter, it would they'd have to block a different direction, and and that sort of stuff, just by experimenting and getting to play kind of like this, like 2-player, no one's in the second player, and like just doing a practice mode kind of thing. And that was the very first game, was combat. It was the one that started it all for me, and I love it because there's so much variance, right? You have like the jets and the clouds, and things changing, having the two jets, 3 versus 1, and then you got the tanks with the bouncy shots, invisible, all the different layouts and maps. That stuff really was so crazy at the time. When you think about the Atari 2600, combat is really, I think, something that still stands the test of time, is something that's so awesome and so just basic, but you instantaneously understand it. I remember I was at Penny Arcade during the PAX. They had their Omegathon or whatever, and this would be in like one of the final the final match was on a combat, and to me, there's nothing better, because I love it to death. But yeah, we had this Atari 2600 in our house. We had in the basement there was just the couch, a record player, and this, and the record player was always playing the Fox and the Hound soundtrack, because my middle brother absolutely obsessed over that movie, and so he would play that thing on repeat constantly. And we had like Sesame Street records as well that we'd play from time to time. The California Raisins, which I still have that record somewhere here in my home. I don't know why. It's the California Raisins Christmas. I don't know. Don't ask. Don't ask. And for like my life, the Atari meant like people coming together and playing, because we never played it by ourselves. Even in those single player games, like people were around. That we taped the California Raisins Christmas special to the TV. You know what? So did we. There was the California Raisins Christmas special, and there was that claymation Christmas one that was really cool. They had like the dinosaur hosts, the Triceratops and the T-Rex, and they were trying to find carols, like good Christmas carols, and there's a whole bunch of wacky stuff going on there. That was so good. I still watch that one to this day, because I thought it was really silly. It could be, because the California Raisins were in that, but they had like the Carol of the Bells, where they had these bells that would bang themselves in the head, and there was a really stupid one that constantly was messing things up, and like there's a fly buzzing around and he hits himself with it. There was the ice skating walruses, and you had this very trippy like color things about like the We Three Kings, but it was very like trippy visuals, and it was all really strange. I loved it to death. It was all really good. But sorry, I digress. This is memory time, though. This is just reminiscing, talking about memories, talking about first games, but the Atari always was a place where everybody got together and played. So we'd have cousins over, and we'd just be playing that all night. Enough that it even pervaded my dreams as a kid. I remember, and I was 2 or 3 at the time, and I remember having a nightmare where like I woke up. We all shared a room. My brothers had a bunk bed, and I had a normal bed that had a Garfield the cat sheets. I don't know why I remember this, but and I remember hearing like a scream, like a blood-curdling scream, and it was a dream, but I didn't know it at the time, and I got up, and I went downstairs, and there was like a Bugs Bunny was standing in the archway between where the stairs were, and the stairs come down into the dining room area, and just to the right of that was where the quote-unquote living room was. We didn't have a TV there. It was just in our basement. But in there, in the darkness, there was Bugs Bunny, and he was eating a carrot, and it creeped me out, and I ran down to the basement where my brothers were there playing a game with my cousin, and they didn't wake me up, and I was mad at them. But I had this just crazy dream, and it still sticks with me to this day, this weird nightmare that I had as a kid, because it scared me to death. I heard this blood-curdling scream, and they were playing the Atari, and I don't know why, that still, to this day, I remember that very distinctly. There's Bugs Bunny, blood-curdling screams, basement brothers playing Atari. I don't know. We're gonna play some Pinball, I think, next. I think that's a good choice. What the? Not a debug mode. I want to go back. What are you doing? Oh, hold on. Okay. What in the world is this exit? There. Let's play something else. Well, another story is Pinball. Let's pick up some Pinball. Oh, do they not have Pinball on here? It's called Atari Pinball. Atari Video Cube. Let me look it up. I want to see what the Atari Pinball game is called, because there's a story with that one. Oops. $2,600. Video Pinball is what it's called. So we play Video Pinball. And what was crazy about Video Pinball was that you had the score on the top there. And my brother, my oldest brother, one day came out to tell us all he had done the impossible. He was just about to get 999,999 points. And the whole family gathered around to see him do this and watch him, achieve this goal. And we were all like excited because for some reason we thought it was going to be like we'd see credits or there'd be like a new board or something crazy happen. And we're all sitting there on bated breath, wondering if it's going to be time, if it's going to happen, and if he's going to mess it up. And we found out that it just goes back to 0. Nothing happens. It goes back to 0. And so we were all so disappointed. And he was really like upset about it because he wanted to see something crazy special. This pinball game is actually not too bad considering. But it was tons of fun. Get away from that there. And yeah, so like looking at this now and seeing like what my score is currently, I don't see it being that big of a deal getting that many points. So I'm not even really trying or focusing right now. And I just thought it was so weird. He was so excited. Everybody was, my mom, who doesn't give a hoot about video games at the time, was just enthralled at this Cinderella story. This little kid gonna flip the scores. Yeah, it seems like something should happen, right? One should happen. Do you play any pinball, Vernon T? Are you a big pinball person? So we increase the multiplier by 2. Oh, what was that? Let's try some more. Oops. I'm curious. I love pinball to death, and I'm just when I go to arcades, I prefer to do pinball or video games instead of play at home already. What's the pinball games that you like? What are some of your favorites? I love Medieval Madness. It's one of my favorites, and Mars Attacks, or is it Mars Attacks? They came from Mars or whatever. I love that one as well. Those are like my 2 favorite. And then I like some of the old stuff, like a Haunted House, which was had 2 boards. It had an inverted on the inside, which was really cool. I really like that one a lot. I play a lot of pinball, video pinball or regular, doesn't matter. All the new stuff, Ghostbusters, Wizard of Oz, yeah. That was all the new stuff. I like that stuff. It's really good. I have a few problems with some of the newer stuff. It's just because sometimes there's a lot going on, and they also, it's kind of more designed like computer video pinball, and I always find that there's sometimes a little too much going on, and a little too many instances of things going too easily down the center. Because like I played a lot of what is it called? Not Pinball FX, the other one that was played all the is a video pinball, but it had recreations of all the classic stuff. I played a lot of that and learning about like all the different boards and how they're designed. And nothing ever compares to the real thing, but I did beat a lot of those pinball machines on my computer. I beat like Arabian Nights and there's Funhouse, and I beat Ripley's Believe It or Not. But you beat, but you know what I mean. Like you achieve the goal. You keep going, of course. And then get into like the Millionaires Club and Bride of Pinbot. There are so many good ones. There's something just inherently awesome. I know every year there's a pinball convention out here in Michigan where we are, and they do like tournaments and stuff, and you see some actual like the competitive pinball scenes there, but you get like free play, and you pay like $15, and you can just play like you have just like 50 different machines to play. And man, before we had kids, we were there every single year, just playing like crazy. And it was so fascinating the types of people that were there. Some older NBA ones, I remember. Yeah. Good hoop shooting minigame in the top of the machine. I do not remember that one at all. That's really cool. I really dig Medieval Madness is probably my all-time favorite one. I think it's just a really silly game, and it's very I think it's funny. It's really engaging, not too complicated. Also feels really good when you play it. There's just some good ball feel, as they say. Pinball is something that I have spent a lot of time playing. I even played like the old on my computer. I used to play like the old Sierra pinball games. They had pinball games based off the franchises, so they had like off of Outpost, their old turn-based strategy game. And they were really cool. I like those a lot. Yeah, the Epic Pinball, that's really good. Oh, that was that. Remember that ball? Let's try again. Let's see if we can recreate this. He tried. He got it all the way. Let's see if we can do it. Maybe it's harder than I think. Maybe I'm being too flippant. We have the time. I'm not going anywhere. My seaman passed away, by the way, Vernon T. I don't know if you heard that or not. My seaman died. So we'll be... Really? We'll be starting over again, starting tomorrow. Yeah, I made a crucial mistake. And when they got their food source, that food tank, I didn't water that right away. I left it until the next day. And that was a big mistake on my part. And so I made a huge mistake, so they ran out of food. And it breaks my heart. I actually feel really bad, because I was getting attached to those little guys. So tell me about your first stories. I would love to hear, Vernon. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, brush and floss. Brush and floss your teeth, baby. You gotta brush and floss your teeth, baby. ×3. These sounds are so insanely nostalgic for me. I haven't played Atari Pinball since I was that little kid. I haven't played any of the Atari in a long time. Might also try our hand at some ET as well, because in all honesty, I liked ET as a kid. I beat ET as a kid. It wasn't as bad as people used to say, but let's see if it actually is. I can't remember. That might be a goal tonight. Boink, 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 boink. This ball is insane right now. It's just doing its own thing. 4. Oh man. Okay, try this again. The gauntlet has been thrown. I have to do it now. Okay, we're gonna start that over. That was a bad start. Oh my goodness. Okay. So tell me your first. Do you remember your first games you ever played, Vernon T? I'm curious to know. It also is very telling to people's ages. NES was your first exposure. When I was a kid, I never understood this. All these people that I knew, Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt is a classic. Everybody, my older brothers, really guys, they'd have friends who had the NES and stuff like this, and no one, and my cousins did. No one would let me play it because they would say like, "Oh, you're too young, you'll break it." But what was interesting was at that time when they said those things, I was playing an Apple IIgs by myself. So like, I had a far more sophisticated piece of machinery. Look at this. I had a far more sophisticated piece of machinery. And they were just thought I'd break the Nintendo, and I never could play it. I got to play, the only times I ever got to really play the Nintendo as a kid would be at arcades, where they'd have this arcade cabinet where you would pay your money and you would get a timer to play as many NES games as you like. So you'd have like, oh, you got 5 minutes, go play as much as you want. And so I would do that. And so the one that I would really play would be Mario Brothers 2. I always played Mario Brothers 2. And I was so confused about what to do, I didn't know. I had no clue. And I was so stuck all the time. Mario 3 is seriously the best. Cobra Triangle, Silent Service, Blaster Master, Punch Out, Excite Bite, Metal Storm, Journey to Silius, Mario 2 as well. Oh yeah. In 6th grade, I had a friend named Keith. Keith Kovach. And I used to make fun of him. And he's like, yeah, your middle name's Kevin. But it wasn't. Because you have KKK as his initials. It wasn't actually. And he had an NES and millions of games in 6th grade. And we would just stay up all night playing them. And it was like the first time I really got to play the NES. And he had like everything. He had like, 50 games. And we would just spend nights just playing, like, they had Golgo 13, and even had stuff like Deja Vu, like those old adventure games that got ported over there. And we would just spend all the time. What do you feel is, if you could take one NES game as to be like the pinnacle example of what the NES means to you, what would it be? Like the one that encapsulates everything. Like it represents the bulk of what you enjoy in games, and also just represents the Nintendo so well. That's a tough one, I know. It's a tough question. Oh. It's not hard to say Mario 3, but Blaster Master would be a close second. I had Skater Die 2 and played a ton of that. Mario 3 is so good. It is perfect. In all honesty, when you play that game, you do not feel like you're playing an NES game. You are playing not even a Super Nintendo game. You're going far beyond that. You're playing something that's so masterfully crafted, that is filled to the brim with content. It is absolutely absurd, and filled with secrets, and the marketing behind it was, astronomical. They had the movie that was the launch announcement of that game. Like, that's insane. You had the Wizard. Oh, did you ever see the Wizard? It's really something else. Fred Savage at his finest. The physics are so good. They're so tight. And I feel like they're of all the 2D Mario games that they are the best in terms of the physics. I'm not gonna like, I mean, hot take, but I don't like Super Mario World. I mean, it's not bad. I don't dislike it. It's just it is my least favorite. It is not bad. It's very good, but it just, I don't know. There's something about Super Mario World that it doesn't click with me. But it may also be the fact. It's a hot take. It's a very hot take. It also may be the fact that my Super Nintendo experiences are even more limited than my NES experiences as a kid. So I went into those games. Much later. So I had played, every single Mario game up until then, except for the Super Nintendo stuff. So that would be, the last one that I played. The same can be said for the Zelda games. Right. I don't enjoy A Link to the Past very much, but I played a whole bunch of other stuff that's, so much better than that. But if that was your first experience into Zelda, I understand. But there's just something about that stuff. It just doesn't ring with me. Like I don't enjoy the sound chip. I was a diehard Sega person at the time. And I enjoy some of the games on the Super Nintendo, but I don't have the love. I don't have the love. And I'm a diehard Nintendo person now. Oh man, got some X's. The first Nintendo console that I owned, I mean, I guess the Game Boy was a hand-me-down that I got from my brother, and we would play Pokemon. That was my first game I owned. And my friend and I both bought Pokemon Red and Blue together. I got Red, he got Blue, and we'd play that together and trade and stuff. That's great. I was a Genesis. We were Genesis through and through. My decisions were made for me. I had two older brothers with disposable incomes at the time. When I was, 10 and 11, they were teenagers with jobs, and they were crazy spending. They would always fight with each other constantly. They had a tumultuous relationship even to this day. But they both decided to pool their money together to buy a Sega Genesis. And play together because it came with Altered Beast. And so they both wanted to play. And so they'd have to go co-op. And they'd have to get along. And that was like the way they got along, was by playing those things. But they would spend all their money on games, and I would just be the one who reaped the benefits. Even to this day, things like the Sega Saturn that came from my brothers. I didn't buy any of my Sega Saturn collection. It was hand-me-downs. Dreamcast, hand-me-downs. GameCube, hand-me-downs. My first console I owned was a DS, like, that I ever owned, that I guess it was even gifted to me. The first console I ever purchased in my life was a Wii. I bought it on launch. So I had just these brothers who I just lived off them. And we did a lot of Indian giving back in the day. And so that was a thing. We'd just borrow it, and we'd borrow it for years, and then finally give it back. That was close. But yeah, though, the Super Nintendo, like Super Mario World, is just not for me. I don't know. I like all the other Mario games. Yeah, see, there you go. Subscribe to Nintendo Power. My brothers were subscribed to Game Players and Ultra Game Players later on, as well as the official Sierra magazine for Sierra games. And so I lived vicariously through those things. And those were fascinating times. then by that time I was a tween on the internet. Yeah, see, there's so much more from the message boards. When I was a kid, there'd be PC games that I would be stuck on. The biggest one for me was Space Quest 6. We didn't have internet where we lived. We lived in, the country, like the country. So we didn't get high-speed internet until the mid-2000s, or access to even dial-up. Until then, outside of making long-distance phone calls to AOL, we had to do, it'd be long distance to do any connection to those services. And so Space Quest 6, I loved that game. I was so excited, and there was a puzzle I couldn't beat. I was stumped, beyond stumped, and the only way I could find the answer was 1 year, multiple years after I had gotten the game. I was something at the very beginning of the game. There was a really confusing puzzle involving these chips, reprogramming this device and having these programmable chips and having to organize them in certain ways, and I had no idea what it meant. I didn't understand what I was supposed to do, even the basic concept of the puzzle. And so, like, multiple years after the fact, I got to visit my aunt, who was this rich aunt from Rhode Island, and the first thing I did when I got into that house, I asked her, "Do you have internet?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "All right." And I immediately looked up, spent like the first, couple hours trying to navigate the internet and find the answer to that puzzle. And I printed it off on a piece of paper, and that was put in my suitcase. And I was like, "Yep, I'm not going home without this." Back in the day. Those were the days. But no, gaming magazines even. Yeah, we had Ultra Game Players and Game Players magazine, and they were stupid. I would look back at those magazines recently, and they gave like Phantasy Star 4 like a 4 out of 10. And they said it was terrible. It really dated graphics, terrible soundtrack, boring combat system. They hated it. They ripped it apart. And I'm just like, really? Really? Phantasy Star 4 you gave like just a vicious score. And I was looking at the things that they would give things like just really garbage games, and they would give like, oh, hey, 9 out of 10. Oh man, Bubsy 2? Oh, stellar Booger Man? Oh dude, that's an 8 out of 10. That's a great game. Holy smokes, Booger Man, have you played Booger Man? It's so good. Look at the animations. But Phantasy Star 4, that's garbage. Beyond Oasis? Not good. Come on. What were they thinking? Okay, let's switch games. By the way, thanks for hanging out, Vernon. I appreciate it immensely. Let's see. Zoo Fun. If you ever have any requests, also, just let me know. Let's play another one I used to play. One of my cousins. Best games of all time. Super Metroid. Hey, not a bad choice. Super Metroid is really fun. It's a great game. Love it. I do not enjoy it entirely. Again, it didn't click. I'm gonna keep trying. That's one that I have to keep trying because everybody tells me that would be one that I would like. So this is Phoenix. I love Phoenix. It's just a standard, like, different waves of enemies. You have these birds that you have to shoot the center of. Oops. You press up, you have a shield. I played a lot of this as a kid. Oh, that's not fair. Yeah, my cousin had this in their basement, and I was like, "What's this?" And this would have been like in the mid '90s, and I was like, "Oh, this is really good." I was like, "Look at the graphics," and we're like, I played the Sega Genesis at that point, but I was still in love with the graphics of it, and the artwork on the cartridge is really interesting too. Oh, yes. Crap. That it? Oh, game over. I love Super Mario, but new games in the genre have outclassed it. First handheld game console was Game Boy Pocket. Yeah, see, I had an OG Game Boy, and my parents gave me a Game Boy, a red Game Boy Pocket, and that's what I played. Um, Pokemon on almost exclusively. It was Pokemon, um, Mario Picross, and Ultima Runes of Virtue. Those are the only games I had at the time. I'm stuck. Nope, did not mean to push that. Sitting on your shelf. I don't have mine anymore, sadly. I have lots of other things, but not that one, sadly. I got my original Genesis at the Sega CD. My original N64. Um, Original PlayStation 2. I love that thing. The Game Boy Pocket was so good. Oh my gosh, I'm doing terrible. There. Okay. Focus. You can get these guys. Come on. There we go. Oh, crap. Oh, I had to sell many of my old games for financial reasons, but I'm not as sentimental about the physical media as I am the games, many of which I can still play on modern consoles. This is true. I totally get why people collect physical media, though. It's neat to look at. I used to be big on terms of like the collecting side of things, and not anymore. That's kind of gone. I enjoy being able to play them. So a lot of my games that I've had are backed up, you know, on my computer, and just sold them because at this point I can emulate it really well with that stuff, and then and just sell them. There are people who want them that'll enjoy them more than me. For the most part, they're just in storage. There's a couple things. A lot of the handhelds I keep the games for, just because there's something cool about handheld media. I don't know what it is. Like, I thoroughly enjoy just having a Game Boy in my hand. Also, I mean, the best handheld out there ever, the Virtual Boy. Still got my Virtual Boy. That was a gift to me from a good friend a long time ago. It came with tennis, golf, and tennis, golf, oh my gosh, red alarm, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Can't think of them right now. Too busy not blowing up. Oh, absolutely. Like, my 3DS, you know, it's got, like, Link's Awakening on there, and, like, you know, Majora's Mask and stuff like that. Like, I love the age of being able to play this stuff. I got an extra guy. Oh, so close. Come on. Oh, I got it though. And then it starts over again. That's it. Oh crap. Did not mean to do that. Wasted my shield. Do you have anything that you consider a prized possession? Like, what's the one thing that you own that you absolutely would never part with, that you love, and it has so much value to, sentimental value to you, that you wouldn't get rid of it ever? Oh my god, I walked into that. That was terrible. Oh. Dang it. Oh, hit the wrong button. Oh, jeez. Oh, I did it. Honestly, can't say there's anything I wouldn't give up for a price. Right now, I 3DS with the Majora. Oh, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, you distracted me. That's a good one. I remember people talking about that one being highly in demand. Like, I worked retail at the time, and people would always be asking for it. It's not that word. People would always ask for it, and they always want it. It's never available. I had this guy I used to always get into arguments with in my life in retail. He believed that 3DS variants were going to be the biggest collector's item ever. So he'd always buy 2 of every 3DS. One for himself and one to eventually sell as an investment for his future. And I would told him that that was very stupid. and he was not necessarily stupid, but not a smart decision. And he was so mad at me about that because he thought he really believed it. And he would tell me that there was nothing to be gained from old video games, that those weren't considered valuable. It's all about hardware variants. And I was like, yeah, but like, even the Majora's Mask one is not a super rare thing. I mean, we're talking, you know, oh, they came out with a red color. I gotta buy 2 of those because that'll be worth a lot of money. It's like, well, there's hundreds of thousands of those out there in the market. That's not rare. If there was like some con exclusive and there's only 50, yeah, get that one is, sure, do that instead. But he used to, fight with me over stuff because I talk about like, hey, you know, like the Pikachu Nintendo 64 is worth some money, you know, worth more than that. He's like, no, not at all. And I was like, oh, but there's also, you know, these very rare games, like Sega Saturn games. And he's like, those aren't worth anything. And I'm just like, you're so not smart. Like, stop. You don't know what you're talking about. And he used to always just antagonize me endlessly about how dumb I was for not investing in the 3DS system collection and how, you know, I really was missing out. And I was like, I don't think so. You know, this isn't like talking about, you know, the Pepsi Atari 2600 game that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know, or the Blockbuster tournament cartridges, which is funny because I used to work at a Blockbuster, and my boss at the time had been owner of a Blockbuster for since the late 80s. And I told him about this, and he's like, I remember doing that stuff. I thought I had a cartridge. I might have one in this closet. And I was like, well, I'm going to search. No, he didn't have it, but he thought he might. And he was like, is this seriously go for a lot of money? He's like, yeah, it does. What color were your handheld systems? So I had the original gray Game Boy. I had the red Game Boy Pocket. And then my DS, I had the silver, the blue, and then I had I now have a red Mario Kart DS. I had one of those, and I have the silver Game Boy Advance SP, as well as two of the OG Game Boy Advances, the weird purple ones, and I have my 3DS is the Mario and Luigi Dream Team one. I tried to force my way. That did not work. There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, and then, let's see, do I have any other handhelds that I'm not remembering currently? Game Boy Pocket Red, Game Boy Color Pikachu Edition, alright! Yellow and blue, so GBA, white, Game Boy Advance SP Black, SP Backlit Slate Gray, yep, DS Silver, DS Light White, 3DS XL Red, new 3DS XL, or SL Red, oh my gosh. Oof, that's beefy. If I wanted to collect stuff, I would probably collect the things that are an experience all their own. So, like, collecting things like, Wii Fit and, Virtual Boy stuff. Like, very distinctly its own thing. You can't really replicate an emulation. And I have Virtual Boy stuff, because for that reason, I still do. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. So here's the thing. Pokemon and I have a very strange relationship. I have owned Pokemon Red, Pokemon Silver, and Pokemon Sapphire, and Pokemon Diamond, and Pokemon Soul Silver, and never beat any of them ever. No, that's a lie. I beat Soul Silver. I beat at least the beginning. I got to credits, and so there's a part of me that wants to probably stream all the Pokemon games in order. I did beat Let's Go Pikachu on the Switch, but can you really call that beating? It was a very simple game. It was very easy. I want to go through them all again and beat them all, and really kind of experience it to its fullest. I think that would be really cool. I would love to find a way to do. I wish that the 3DS stuff is emulatable. That'd be fun. But it's not so well. It has its issues. Um, I don't care about like catching them all, and I don't care about national dexes and all that nonsense. I honestly feel that that's it's insane. You technically, my argument there. I don't know how you stand on the national dex issue with Sword and Shield, but like my personal opinion is, you'll have the Pokemon Home um, software where you can keep your dex intact. You'll be able to import your Sword and Shield, you know, stuff into that, as well as carry over all your other stuff from the Pokemon Bank. So you'll still have your national dex. It'll still be there, just not in that game in particular. And that's fine. These people are very, I don't know, they're showing their privilege. And it's just really kind of silly. It's silly. There's a lot of hate. And I don't entirely understand why. And yeah, no, and see that's great because that's kind of how I want to do it. When I played Red, I had a team, and every time I played other Pokemon games, it would always be that team, and it bothered the crap out of me. So when I beat like Let's Go Pikachu, I picked a very different team. When I played I got or not plat. Is it plat? No, it's Pokemon Crystal. I got it on 3DS, and I beat that. Um, and I picked a very different team. It was a very different one. I enjoy playing with different teams as my challenge, but also playing what I like, not what I feel is the most efficient. I like attaching myself to the characters, giving them the nicknames, and really kind of get a feel for that. Um, People always talk about like doing Nuzlocke challenges, and I'm like, I don't know, man. That's just not. It's not for me. I like doing the weird things. Like I like doing the beauty pageants, and the little mini game stuff in the later ones. I just enjoy that stuff. I'm excited for Sword and Shield. Like really excited. I'm going to play the crap out of it. Because I have a bunch of friends who are also going to be getting into it big time. And there's something really magical about Pokemon. I think it's really cool. I think it still stands the test of time as being something really special. And I even like the direction that it goes, except for the plot. I like all the mechanics and the quality of life that they've done, but I like the original red and blue / green Pokemon plot of being just a kid who wants to be a champion and having these adventures and these little stories along the way. It's like there's a bad guy, but they're not doing something horribly bad. They're just kind of more of an obstacle than they are a big bad. Yeah, you love the music. What's your favorite Pokemon? Mine is Psyduck. I don't like Golduck. I like Psyduck. I don't hate Golduck, but I like Psyduck. I like to keep him as Psyduck. When I had Let's Go Pikachu, the first thing I did was get a shiny Psyduck. Yeah, and I like seeing what they're doing with Sword and Shield. They're really talking up the metagame. You know, like having these Pokemon that have special abilities that are very distinctly their own. And I think that is really cool, and it'll make them stand out more. And I want to see that. I want to see what they do. But yeah, what's your favorite? You don't have to pick the best, your most favorite, but like, what's the group that you like the most? I really enjoy Ghost Pokemon a lot. I've always enjoyed those kind of ones. They're really cool looking. I enjoy Farfetch'd. I like the weirdos. When I beat Crystal, my team was Sudowoodo, Jinx, for alligator, and a Pidgeot, and what else? Hold on. Oh, and a oh my gosh, what's the beetle? Pincer. Pincer. That was my team. Fighting in grass, nice. I really enjoy I like fighting, but I always just go Machamp, when I do fighting, and it bothers me. And like grass, I always like grass. I always I always end up getting a victory bell. Like that's it always is those two, and it drives me crazy. We're like, I gotta get out of this rut. It was always Charizard, uh, Victory Bell, Machamp, Golem, and Alakazam, and like that was like my team, and then just throw away like a Pidgeot or something like that as like my sixth one, and I guess best Pokemon games are Red and Blue. I like the plot. I like the simplicity of its plot. I don't like the you've got to stop the ultimate evil and the legendary Pokemon that you'll always have the ability to get. Whereas in like Red, and also in Silver and Gold to some degree, where the legendaries are legendary and you have to try to get them. But then they moved on to you'll always encounter them, and they're always some epic thing. They're always trying to one up themselves in terms of epic story, and I don't like that. I don't like building up. I like building out and creating kind of intimate stories with that stuff. And I feel like Red and Blue and Gold and Silver do a pretty good job with that. And then they just started to ramp up and up and up and up to a point where it became ridiculous. But I haven't experienced anything past Ruby and Sapphire, so I want to see how that goes. Like I know the plots of the other ones, so I know that they're kind of like that. They're ramped up more and more, but I kind of want to experience them. And I'll start with Sword and Shield because I'm getting that for sure. I'm getting Sword because I want Surfetched because I love Farfetch'd. He's really good. He's my boo. Let's put on some Pitfall. But what about you? Tell me, what's your favorite Pokemon? Like, if you had the best one, what's your best games? I want to know. I'm curious. I'm very curious. Ah, my points, my precious points. Alligators. Oh, Jesus. Woo! Da-da-da. God. Oh, overshot it. My bad. Yellow is sentimental. Favorites gold and silver. Gold and silver are great. I missed out on black and white 1 and 2. Heart gold, soul silver, which I've never been told are amazing. Got back with X and Y. I'd say my favorite is platinum. I thought Ultra Sun and Moon had a cool story. I was gonna just skip to them. But that was one of my things. Also, is that like, I was probably going to, if I had to make a choice, like when playing them again, would be doing like crystal instead of gold or silver. Um, and I would um, save like Omega Ruby and or whatever, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, um, until like the very end. Go through all of them, and then go back to those kind of redone versions, to see how they changed and how they differed. But I kind of wanted to go in like order of the originals. But yeah, like the difference between like Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, like that's so minor. That's like the difference between Platinum and Diamond and Pearl. You know. Gosh, this is terrifying. This is absolutely terrifying. Pitfall. Woo. Oh crap, that one got me. Someone told me what's your favorite Pokemon. I gotta know. Like all-time favorite. What's the one? What's the one that if you could have at your house and live with? Raichu. Oh, that big chonkster. He's a big chonkster. He's a pretty chonkster too. I love me some Raichu. He's cute. The one I want to like, if I had one that I could have live with me. Are you excited about the giant form Pikachu, where he's like the old school chonky Pikachu from the original? I'm very excited about that. Okay. I'm excited they're bringing back the chonky Pikachu. I love chonky Pikachu. I want to have him. It looks neat. Oh yeah, getting Meowth. Meowth looks great too. The long cat. Like, what were they thinking? Oh, that's insane. In a good way, in the best way possible. Pokemon is one of those things that like my daughter, she was Pikachu for Halloween. Or is. We did a thing for Halloween today, and then we'll do other ones later. But she's Pikachu for Halloween. She loves Pokemon. She's 4. McDonald's has these little Pokemon toys where it's a Pokeball that shoots out a disc that has a Pokemon in it. She got one that's Onyx, and she is obsessed. That's hers, and like she always looks for the Onyx disc. She has to find them, and it's hers, and it's really special. They have a very special bond. She says, and I'm like, I'm raising you right. At some point, her and I will play like Let's Go Pikachu together in the co-op. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But I really can't wait for the day when she can read, because she's in the process of learning how to read. And there's nothing more exciting right now than her being able to read. Oh, crap. Because I want to play like Animal Crossing with her, and Pokemon with her, and all these things I'm really excited to like share with her. Yeah, did you like this key? Isn't it amazing? I love it. This is very beefy. Castle J! Hello, everybody! Welcome! J-Rod! Oh my goodness, thank you guys! Hello! We're playing Pitfall right now. And not doing too bad either. We were just talking Pokemon talk. You missed all the fun. We've been talking about Pokemon. We told little stories about our first gaming experiences. I would love for you all to share. What first games were there for you? For me, it was Combat, and I played by myself, and I was like 2 years old. That taught me how to play the game and understand shooting at angles and controlling like the planes and things like this, and also just how to brutally beat up my much older brothers. But I want to hear your gaming stories. and my beard did fall off. I lost it in a fire. I look like a giant palooka now, but I also don't look like a hobo. So that's a positive as well. We're doing great in this Pitfall run, by the way. I'm doing spectacular. I'm very proud of myself. First game experience, my grandma taught me how to play Donkey Kong when you were 3. Oh, was it like arcade Donkey Kong, or was it NES Donkey Kong? Or Atari Donkey Kong? That's the real question. Were you doing arcade Donkey Kong? Because, man, if that was the case, your grandma was a badass. NES Donkey Kong, still badass. Still badass. NES Donkey Kong is still just as cool. If she was teaching Atari Donkey Kong, well, I'm sorry. It's so good to see you all. I'm playing Atari. If you guys have any Atari games that you'd like to see me play, throw out some recommendations. I've just been playing a lot of Pitfall right now. We were talking NES and how I didn't get to play one because everybody thought I would break it. Not knowing that I had an Apple IIgs that I owned and operated by myself at the time, at the ripe age of 3 and 4 years old. They would tell me, oh, you can't play with the NES, you'll break it. It's like, but I know how to boot up an operating system and, like, you know, run games off of a graphical user interface. She bought the NES version because she loved the arcade one so much. Who doesn't love Donkey Kong, man? Donkey Kong is iconic. Kigo says, my first gaming experience was the NES. My parents were going to unveil it to my brother as a surprise, so my dad showed it to me ahead of time, still in the box, and tried to explain what it would do. What kind of explanation would that have been? My goodness. That must have been one of the most foreign things in the world. I could not understand how something was going to change what was on the TV. Who would? Like, who would understand that? That is such an alien concept. And had something like, it makes pictures inside of it. And I said, oh, but does it even have a window? I love it. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't have been able to grasp it if they tried to explain it to me. Instead, I just had older brothers, so I just got to see them play it, and it was my thing. You were 4. That is the best, and it's so great that you remember these things, right? Because like I talk to people, and a lot of people are like, my first memory is like when I was like 10, and I'm like, 10? Really? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I remember far earlier. I just felt weird about that. People were just like, yeah, I was 10 years old. And man, I'm with Key. Capsule J, that is so cool that your grandma was a DK expert. Donkey Kong, I watched the King of Kongs to fully grasp what it takes to be good at Donkey Kong, and it is fascinating. It's also part of that world of score-based games, just like with the Atari here. You know, being really about scores, but also learning about patterns, angles. It's all about geometry and patterns, and it's so fascinating how a lot of people gravitate towards that. My brother was about 10. He was 9 when we got the NES. I think that was because the NES had proved it wasn't a fad by the 1990? Yeah, no, it was not. Yeah, at that point you realize it was not a fad. But also at that point where people were moving on to the Super Nintendo, you can get it cheaper. And you had such a huge wealth of titles to pick from that were also on the cheap. I'm with you. You also don't know how your kids are going to react, especially at that time when video games weren't that much of a thing, because you had to make sure that your kids are going to want to play it. I know, like, if I were to buy a game system for Roz right now, it probably wouldn't go over so well. She would be like, yeah, that's great, but then she'd move on to something else, because that's just how kids are. Except if it was Pokemon right now. Roz is on a Pokemon kick. Key, Roz, my 4-year-old, they have these Pokeball toys at McDonald's right now, and inside of them is a disc. It shoots out a little disc when you push the button, and the disc has a Pokemon on it. So like, she got one that has Onix, and its name is Onix, and she obsesses over it. She has to always have the disc with her. When it's out of the Pokeball, it's with her, and if it's in the Pokeball, that Pokeball's with her, and she always wonders where he is and if he's safe. She's sleeping with him right now. She absolutely adores it, and she got it just the other day, and it is her most favorite thing in the world. One of the greats. She loves it. And when I told her how big he is, she was like, oh, like, and was trying to size it up in her head, like to visualize the reality of it in its size. And so when she tries to talk with it, she gives it a girly voice because it's a girl Onyx. And I'm like, Onyx. And she's like, no, that's not how it sounds. It goes, Onyx, Onyx. It's a girl Onyx. Council J says, I think the thing that grabbed me about Donkey Kong was that it had a sense of progression, getting to new levels in a crude story. We were an 8-bit only household until 94, 95. See, at home consoles, we only had the Atari up until 94, 95 when we got the Sega Genesis. When my brothers pooled their money together to buy a Genesis, the one thing that they could... Oh, I must not make that jump. The only thing that they kind of came together for, because they hated each other with a dire passion, but games brought them together. We had computers for a long time. We were a computer family for the most part. Hey, I don't blame you though. The NES was such an awesome machine. It was one I couldn't get to play as a kid, but I understood its beauty and power. My brothers would take piano lessons, and we went to go pick him up. The piano lady had a teenage son who had Mega Man 2, and would watch him play and just be in awe of Mega Man 2. The music in that was just captivating. You couldn't deny it. By the way, I am rocking Pitfall. Nope, I say that and I die. I'm rocking Pitfall, and then I die. Alright, let's see. They have another mode? They do not. Let's go left this time. Left is a different experience. My parents resented that the SNES wasn't backwards compatible. Resist clapping. Clap away. Clap away. I don't blame you. Oh, I missed the thing. Okay. Come on, Harry. Yeah, because like it was an Apple II, it was a Atari 2600, then an Apple II GS in like 86, 87. It was been 87, 88. And that thing took up most of my time as a kid, because I was playing the Sierra Adventure games on it. I was playing games like Manhunt New York, and but also which terrified me as a child. Imagine being 4 years old and playing Manhunter New York. But my parents were also concerned I would damage the NES by accident. I wasn't supposed to change games. I remember you telling me this. Yeah, you can't change the games. Like, you would damage it in some way. I was putting in, the big floppies, the 12 and a quarter. Is that what it is? I was supposed to ask my parents' brother to switch games for me, but I wanted to play something that wasn't in the console already. But then one day, I'm rapt attention here. I'm in rapt attention, everyone. By the way, hi Rosie, and J-Rod's here, and then some robots. Listen to the Tecmo Bowl opening theme. It wasn't in the console. This is a conundrum for the ages. You had to put it in. I mean, you gotta do it. You have to. Get that sweet Tecmo Bowl madness. It worked. Everything was fine, but I felt so guilty that I confessed. That's something like Roz would do. She would feel really guilty. You switched games? Can you show me how you did it? So you demonstrated. How did you feel when she said, "Oh, show me how you did it"? Because I'm curious if you felt like really guilty or like really proud. Like, look what I did. Oh, I'm on the edge of that puddle. You should have asked me to help you, but since you can do it so well, you're allowed to do this from now on. Aww, it's the best mom. Your mom is the best. Mama Key is the best mama. I'm jealous. I had a terrible parents. Oh, there's logs. Go away, logs. But yeah, growing up with the Atari 2600, starting off with a game like Combat definitely taught me how to understand the meta of competitive games. So like we'd play a lot of fighting games as we grew older. But I was never the person who was like angry when I lost. There's always something to learn, and that was always how I was. I would read the manuals like crazy to learn the intricacies of them and kind of get a feel for what the developers wanted you to do and try to achieve that in games. But also understand when instances where those bad like fighting games had like special moves that were really cumbersome and not fun to do, wouldn't use them because they were too inconvenient. And my brothers would always try to do them. It's like, there's your problem there. You're playing a game like Eternal Champions, trying to do some. Well, Eternal Champions is a bad example. That has good special moves. Playing a game like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fighting game on the Genesis. Those are just brutal. Or Time Killers was one. That was a really weird one with the decapitation of arms and legs. Yeah, oh, look at that game. Key. That TMNT fighting game on the Genesis is brutal. I like that the lesson your parents were teaching you is essentially breaking rules is fine as long as you can do it with finesse. Oh, oops. Yeah, as long as you're not going to break it. Yeah, the TMNT fighting game on the Genesis is so insanely hard. We rented it, and I insisted on constantly playing my brothers, and they wouldn't because I would always beat them, and they were much older than me. But I couldn't beat the computer at all. I couldn't even beat like the first person. It was so hard. It was so hard. If you hadn't confessed, the story would have ended differently. Honesty is the best policy. I tell that to Roz. Like, hey, just be honest and we're not going to be mad. If you lie, we will be upset. Because you lied. Not because of the thing. Like, if you accidentally broke something, if you, did something, be it was a little selfish, snuck some food or something, just tell us. We won't be mad. But if you lie about it, we will be mad. Because that's just not okay. She still lies, and it breaks my heart. Because she's still scared that we'll be mad at her. We try to tell her that, but she doesn't get it in her head. I have a question. This is an honest question. What was better, the beard or not the beard? Be honest. What was better, the beard or not the beard? I liked the beard, but I was told I was required to change it. And that I might have needed to work on the beard, put some effort into the beard. To beard or not to beard is the ultimate question. Both are good. They both have their qualities. Again, I look like a giant palooka without one, but I also look like a homeless person. No, it was not Roz. It was my wife. Because she's like, you go out in public looking like a homeless guy all the time. And I was like, yeah. Self-care is not my forte. I have been racking up the points. Doing great in Pitfall. Doing great. We got 12 more minutes. Let's see if we can last the whole 12 minutes. He had her dad grow his beard longer to be more like a pirate. See, Roz would do something like that. She doesn't mind the scruffiness. My wife hates the scruffiness. I liked the beard. I should take better care of it, sure, but... Is there any Atari game that y'all are dying to see? We're talking E.T., Pac-Man, the infamous ones. The ones that... Oops. Comment is for folks to tell us and others they have to change the looks. I have it all. Yeah, we can do adventure, absolutely. Well, I mean, she's not demanding. It's not like, oh, you have to. But she's like, please shave or take care of it. And I wouldn't do either. I wouldn't take care of it either. So she's like, okay, then you have to shave it because you're not taking care of it. I wonder who ever takes the bottom route of Pitfall. Because, like, it's not practical. Most of the time you hit a wall and you have to go back. And there's never any treasure down there, is there? I haven't paid attention. Capsule J, we will put in adventure once I finish this. I've got to keep going. We've got to go fast. Got to rack up that score. 28,928. I throw it on the gauntlet too. If anybody wants to post up their high score in Pitfall and try to beat what I have done currently, like what I'll get at the end of this, I'm very curious to know. There used to always be a rumor of an end game of this. Is there an end screen to Pitfall? Because I don't think there is, but people used to always talk about how there was one, like Sonic beat in Smash Bros. Melee. Ooh, Haunted House. I might do Haunted House. That would be fun. I've never actually played that one. Hey, Mountain Stars, how are you? Your high score is like 100. Oh, man. I've played Haunted House on the Wii, the remake. It was not the best. How are you doing, Mountain Stars? Welcome to my channel. I've never met you before, I don't think. We're doing a Storytime Sunday where we talk about our little topic. Our topic today is our very first video game. That's just why I'm playing Atari 2600. What were your favorite 2600 or not 2600? Very favorite like first gaming experiences. I love hearing this stuff. I don't know how long it'll be. Capsules first. Okay, we will do adventure. We got 9 minutes or until I die. I'm sorry, Capsule J. I'm confused. I never knew there was so many screens of Pitfall. There's a bajillion. Okay. It just goes on and on, my friend. Some people started playing it, not knowing what it was, and will continue playing it forever just because this is the game that doesn't end. It just goes on and on, my friend. Some people started playing it, not knowing what it was, and will continue playing it forever just because this is the game that doesn't end. It just goes on and on, my friend. I remember I had Pitfall 2 on the PC, had awesome music, and I never got very far in that one. I read a book about the Atari 2600 and they explained how the screens of the game were generated. It was fascinating. E.T. has an end. You can beat E.T. E.T. has an end that's actually very defined. When people give E.T. crap, they're wrongly doing so. It's a little strange, E.T. is. But what makes E.T. so great is the controls are weird, but there is actually plot. There is a plot and a progression. I've beaten E.T. as a kid. This is interesting. Were they actually programmed? I'm curious. The screens aren't in memory. They're calculated and built off of a seed as an RNG seed. It was programmed to have the same sequence of rooms. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's just kind of like how No Man's Sky does things, right? You know? in their generation. They have their math, and the math is always the same for all the things, but it had generated its math dynamically when it made the game. And the same could be said for Pitfall. It's interesting. Oh, I was really close to falling in. There's something very, very, like, fulfilling about doing this. I don't know about you guys. Oh, I thought that snake is bad. I think you're right. That is amazing. Yeah, that's really how it is. They had their math that's very complex and applied, generated dynamically throughout the universe, but everybody experiences the same universes. It's the kind of stuff they had to do with such little memory available. That's right. That's what's so cool. Somebody was trying to tell me recently that procedure generation was a new thing in games. Hard for me not to say. Yeah. Just ask them about it. It's true. Procedural generation's always been around, and it's been around for a long time in games. It's just it's not always apparent, you know. Even in the 90s, they had procedurally generated stuff. Because we talk desktop adventures from LucasArts. They had LucasArts desktop adventures, which was Yoda stories and the stories of Indiana Jones desktop adventures, which were like a little tiny screen, and it was randomly generated missions that took place at different locales, required to talk to different NPCs and have different goals every time, and it was always randomly generated. But they were games that you could play in bouts of, like, you know, a couple minutes. And they were like an action adventure game. It's really cool. Yeah, Toe Jam and Earl had a random and fixed map world generation. Exactly. Key, you know what's up. Toe Jam and Earl is one of my all-time favorite Genesis games. I love Toe Jam and Earl. Playing it co-op is harder than playing it single player. I mean, people use the term roguelike without even knowing about rogue. Exactly, they don't know the etymology. They don't know the origins of those words. It's so silly. It's so silly that, like, people are very short-sighted about games through history, because, you know, we've always had very dynamic games, especially when you're looking at the PC realm. You know, the 1980s in the PC is very different than the 1980s on consoles, and even in the 90s, very different. And that stuff is really magical to know about. This number is a dog. Yes, Key. Yes. Oh, I was not paying attention. I was looking at chat. Fall on the fit. At least it's not one that kills me. Hi, gators. Oh, the scorpions. They're looking hungry. Hi, scorpions. Sorry, I'm never going to go down there. I don't see any point in going down and visiting you, scorpions. You know, this is like the best I've ever played Pitfall in my life. I have never really been good at Pitfall. Everyone always talks about how when they were kids, they were far better at video games than they are as an adult now. And that has been the opposite for me. I've gotten better at games than I was when I was a kid. And the only difference between then and now is that I have necessarily less patience than I did as a kid. Because you only had like 4 or 5 games to ever play in your entire, like, 8 years at a time. So you would be very persistent in that stuff. I'm so much better now than I was as a kid. Because these things that I found to be, like, impossible as a kid are so challenging, or not challenging now as an adult. And there are some games where they're still challenging, but I just don't have the patience to master it or learn it. A lot of stuff in the 16-bit era are very intent. Oh, first death. Short fuse for BS. I guess that's true. Shorter fuse for BS is probably the better way to say it. Yeah. Still have to use those crappy. I don't have to use those crappy Atari controllers. That's right. More respect for our own time. Exactly. Who wants to sit there and spend, hours and hours playing Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's butt on the Sega Genesis? Not me. I'd rather go play something far better. As a kid, if that's what I got, that's what I got. I'm going to figure it out. Which, by the way, I'll let you all know, Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's butt's a great game. You should all play it. The Atari controllers are good when they're new, and that it lasts about 5 minutes, and then they become bad, and that's when you go and plug in a Genesis controller, and you're all happy, because it played Genesis controllers too, which I loved. Although their paddle controllers were really cool. I loved the weird peripherals that a lot of Atari games had. There's one, it was a space game, and you had this keypad that was you putting in coordinates that you would warp to different locations to fight alien fighters. And the keypad was that was scary. I thought it was really cool. What's also interesting I noticed is that different screens may look similar, but the patterns of the rope swinging change. There's very clear moments where you can just run forward and grab the rope, and other times you have to stop and wait for it. Less than a minute. Look at this. I only died once, and that was on accident. Oops. Nope. Oh, Pitfall Harry, come on, buddy. You only got 32 seconds left. This is intense. This must be a circus, because it is intense. More than 66,000 more points than you did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mountain Stars. I'm sorry. I'm on 5. Yes, let's just do it right there. 68,710. Screen cap it right now. We've got a kill screen on Pitfall coming. If you want, I offer the challenge. You can also play these games on your web browser. Yes! Oh my gosh. Mountain Stars, thank you for following. See the schedule on the screen, on the channel. Come visit. We play weird games. We do weird stuff. Weirdness Day is going to be one of the strangest experiences for everyone here. I just started streaming again. I used to back in the day. Weirdness Day is going to be a joyous occasion. I assure you, what I have planned for Weirdness Day, do not miss. Do not miss Weirdness Day. It's where I play weird games. And for those that do know me here in the channel, know that I play some weird-ass games. He wouldn't have if I gotten under 68,000 points. So I have a challenge for you. Go to archive.org. They have all the Atari games playable in the browser. Screen cap it. Send it to my Twitter. Throw it on the gauntlet that you beat 68,710 points. I want to see it. I'm throwing down the gauntlet. I will give you a hug virtually, or do some sort of odd gyrating dance with a sign that says that you're awesome. I promise. Now, let's do some adventure. Sorry. Capsule Day's probably long gone now. Capsule J, you still here? Capsule Day's still here. Yes. So is Rosie. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Claus 2002. How's it going? Don't be shy. Say hi. You look like a new person, Claus, because you're not a robot. That is not a normal one that I've seen. Not a normal name, like all the other robots. All right, adventure. I'm gonna do the initial one. Oops. One. There we go. All right, we're gonna do this. It's been a long time. Dragon. Okay, I don't remember the maze. Okay, that's not good, is it? Is it? Okay, no, this is bad. Bad start. Okay, Adventure was awesome because Adventure was not linear. You know, it had kind of a story to it. You have this maze that's so fascinating. I'm already lost. Let's see. Okay, yes, that's great. Oh no, what's the key to? What does the key open? It's not that. Oh crap. Let's see. Okay, that's fine, key. Thank you for stopping by. You can lurk to your heart's content. If you want to stop in a little later, you're more than welcome to. I need to know what this key opens. Okay. Hold on. I'm so lost already. This is already a bad start. Bad start. Where does this take me? That takes me there. Where does this take me? Okay. That takes me there. What? Okay. Good to know. Where does this take me? Okay. Everyone up here. Let's see. Okay. I swear this key opens that, right? Am I crazy? This key should open this door. Maybe it doesn't. Let's see. Maybe I need to drop it? No. Okay. Let's see. That's not anything special. Okay. Capsule J, if you have any hints or clues, what happened to my... Okay, that's weird. Oh, it's too high up. Boink, boink. What are you telling me, phone? Nothing important. There's the key. Adventure's tough. Adventure time. Any hints is going to be helpful. Because I have no clue. I got no clue where I need to go. Not to be confused with Adventure Time TM. Let's see if this is going to take me somewhere. Okay. The black key. I need that. That I need. Okay. Let's remember where I went. I went left. Up. Okay. That's what I gotta do. Okay. I'm figuring this out. There's the black key. That's what I need. Don't need that gold key just yet. There we go. What is this? Oh, that magnet. Okay. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, God. No. Wrong thing. Get the chalice. Get the chalice. No. Stop this madness. Okay. I went that way. And this way. Oh, jeez. Go away, dragons. Go away. Oh, no, dragons. Go away, dragons. Come on. Come on. No, I'm almost there. Stop, dragons. Stop this madness. Stop this madness. Why can't I get in here? I have the chalice. Let me in. I need the gold key. No, damn it. Damn it, the gold key gets me back in. Oh, no, I'm gonna die. Oh, he's stopping me. This isn't nice. It's the end. This is the end. I'm doomed. Where'd the dragon go? Dragon, where did you go? No, wrong way. Wrong way, me. I love about this game. Yeah, it is a great prototype to Zelda. It is so much. I enjoy the different, and it has the different missions. So it has multiple missions that you can do. That's really cool. I also very much dig, the dragons. Oh no. Go away, evil beast. Okay. So much flicker. Oh, there's the sword. I could have used the sword on the dragon. 1,000 pieces. This is true. Let's do mission 2. Oops. Oh, jeez. What? Hey! You son of a... Come back here. Oh, God. Oh, we doomed. We so doomed. Okay, there's where the... Hold on. Come on. Run. Run. Run, you son of a... No. No, give me that sword. Kill the dragon. Yes! You son of a... Okay. So that thing took the gold key. I have no idea where the gold key is now. I just have a sword. Okay, there's that thing. Seriously, I'm about ready to have a seizure. Blinking, blinking. Oh my gosh. Gold key. No. Don't take my gold key. Oh my gosh. Don't take my gold key, please. I need my gold key. There we go. Gold key's in. There's so much flicker. Oh, you stupid ass bat. It's like my just darn stupid bat. Okay. Just focus. Let's focus. Okay, this maze here. I've got this down, I think. White key. Okay, don't have it down. Okay, so I need the black key. I have the white key. That maze is downloaded. Is this gonna get me across here? No. Okay. At least I kill the dragon. At least I kill the dragon. Need to find the White Castle. There's the magnet. Take me back here. Flicker, flicker, flicker. Oh, you stupid bad. Okay, wow. So lost. Okay, hold on, we're making progress. Oh, nope. Give me. Oh, did I take the bat? Oh, God. Dragons, dragons, go away, dragons. Okay, dragon. Dragon, I don't appreciate your behavior. Right now I'm wrestling this key from a bat. Oh, okay. 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 What is happening? What is happening right now? Oh my God. 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 Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. I broke the game. Castle J, I broke it. I broke it. It's broken. It's the end. I died. I don't know what just happened there, but that was kind of cool. Oh, still moving. Little me still going around. Come on. The bat is taking me for a ride right now. Oh my gosh. Hey. Come on. Free me from this prison. Okay, let's play something else. That was great, Capsule J. Great recommendation. That is insane. There was one, I don't remember what it was called, but you were a prisoner. It was called Prison Break? I don't remember. You were a prisoner and you had to escape. It was not Prison Break. Racquetball. Raiders of the Lost Ark. No, we're not doing that one. Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes. Let's see. We could do skateboarding. Oh, let's do. Would it be under the for the Empire Strikes Back? We can do Tetris on here. Let's do Tetris on here. Okay. Some T-spins. Ready? T-spin. This is some great soundtrack here. Oh no, it did not work right. It was not what was intended. Oh no, it's all falling down. Tetris! Oh my. Oh, this is bad. Very bad. Oh no. Okay, this is terrible. We're not playing this Tetris. This is terrible Tetris. Let's do old school Pac-Man. Or Miss Pac-Man is really good. We'll play Miss Pac-Man because that was a really good version of Pac-Man. I loved it. There's just something very fulfilling about like the old games of being about scores instead of story. There's just something nice about scores. I would play like modern times we have games like Yoshi Touch and Go on the DS, which I love. You know, the precursor to modern runner games on phones. I used to play the crap out of this as a child. Touch and Go is so good. And I'm surprised we don't have another one for like just phones. Just make a phone game, a free phone game, Yoshi Touch and Go, boom. Hello, Ghosty, come on. Come get me. You don't want to get me? He's terrified. Come on, little ghost. I'm taunting you. Sorry. There's only one ghost. This poor guy. Hold on. Let's see. There we go. Let's have 3 ghosts. What game did Keeglif want to see? She wanted to see something. We should honor that request. Oops. Sorry, guys. That was premature. Oh, we should play E.T. That's what we should play. After I do this one real quick. We'll do some E.T. I want to show you why ET doesn't suck. Let's break that barrier. Show you why ET isn't a pile of garbage. Let's go to ET, because I want to prove to you all that ET isn't bad. Okay. ET. ET is not bad. The arrows tell you that you need to oops. Okay. ET is not bad. There. It says there was a piece. There was a piece. Oh crap. Okay. That there was a piece, a puzzle or a ship piece in one of these holes. There it is. One piece. We gotta get like 3 more. There's some Reese's Pieces. Oh, another piece. Look at that. We just stumbled onto it. Oh, come on. Oh, I fell into a hole. Don't mind me. The doctor wants to dissect me. Okay. Okay, there's pieces here. Alright, check that one, I thought. There we go. Okay, let's wait a second. Let the doctor kind of lose track of me. Oh. Reese's Pieces are very helpful. I think that when you lose energy, you consume them for more. I think. I forget what they're used for. Those are those little dots I'm collecting. Ah! Do you play many Atari 8-bit games? I have not, actually, Claus. I have not. I am currently stuck in this hole. ET's not bad. It's a misnomer. It's a misnomer. ET's not bad. I'm just stuck in this hole. It's not bad. Stuck in a hole is all. Not bad. Not bad. Just stuck in a hole. I play a lot of everything, Claus. So if you're ever interested in seeing more of this stuff, but I did not mean to fall in that hole. We'll do a lot of older stuff on Thursdays. When I stream on Thursdays, it's Throwback Thursdays. We play a lot of older stuff. Ship piece. Oh, oh no! Why did I lose all my ship pieces? Did that guy get me? I think he took them all. Shoot. Means I have to go back and collect them. I think they're all in one of the buildings. Maybe? And they all go back into the holes. And when you get hit by one of the guys, one of the dudes, I think it's the police officer guy, he takes your pieces. Your shit pieces. Yeah, we're gonna die. It's okay. Oh, crap. What, yep, ran out of energy. Elliot comes and saves me. Yay. What stuff do you like of the old, Atari 8-bit stuff? Curious. I haven't seen a lot of Atari 8-bit stuff at all, in all honesty. My experiences with them is very limited. Okay. Don't die, AT. AT? Gotta handle this at a different angle. Ah. Come on, Elliot. Save me. I don't remember what the Reese's Pieces do. I forget now. I thought they'd give you energy, but they do not. Eat. Play with Joust, Henry's House, Vanguard, Mountains of Revenge. So I played like Joust, but not on the 8-bit. Hundreds more. I can't think of it right now. Joust is amazing. Mountains of Revenge I played, not necessarily on the Atari 8-bit though. Arcade ports, Donkey Kong Tapper. Oh yeah, the classics. Okay, dude, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave E.T. alone. The signs were telling me they were in this hole. Poor E.T. He's dead. No, he's back. No, he's dead. I had almost collected all the pieces too. So it's just like, hey, go up. Go to the left. Okay, left. Come on. What? No! Huh? Okay, go down. Oh, you son of a... It is essentially a wild goose chase. There you go, one piece. You really have to kind of do this on your first attempt too, because you have all that energy initially. Okay. Whew. What about you, Claus? What was like your first gaming experiences? Did you grow up with the Atari 8-bit stuff? Or did you, damn it, he stole my piece. Like, what was your first gaming experiences? I love hearing people's stories. Second, let the doctor kind of go away. Oh, damn it, E.T. Stop falling in holes. It's just a wild goose chase sometimes at this point, because you're trying to avoid all these people as well as not fall into holes. Grew up with the Atari 130 XE initially. Even remember the first time I remember played Elfin Color Caves. Elfin Color Caves. I need to look that up. That sounds awfully familiar. I'm gonna look that real quick. We're gonna take a second. Elfin Color Caves. Or is Alf? Alf in Color Caves. Elf in the Color Caves. That looks so... Elf in the Color Caves looks so cool. That looks great. I love it. Everyone look it up. Elf in Color Caves. graphics look really cool. And there's that question mark. That's always a good sign that there's something around here. So I'm gonna check. Let's go down. Oh, E.T., you're getting on my nerves. You're still not a bad game. E.T., you're not a bad game. Except when the guy steals your stinking shit pieces. E.T. E.T. So I grew up with the Atari 2600 and the Apple II GS were really my first game experiences. Oh, there's a fast run. I did not realize E.T. had a fast run. Okay, we're learning some things. We're learning some new tools. E.T. has a fast run. We are learning new things. I'm going to be able to beat this thing. I think we should start over because I've lost all my stuff. Let's start over. We're going to do this. We got this. You ready? Starting down here, this screen. Okay. There's a piece in here somewhere. There's not a piece here. I was wrong. I did interpreted the signs incorrectly. Oh, E.T. The fast moves. Oh, E.T. Come on. Come on, E.T. Don't be a fool. E.T. E.T. I asked you. I asked you nicely, boy. Okay. E.T. The only downside to E.T. is just getting out of the holes. Like, it putting you back in. You falling back in. There's nothing bad about E.T. Everything else is great. Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, come on, E.T. You can do this. We're gonna beat this. You're gonna beat this and show everybody that you can be beat and you're not a terrible game. 2 pieces. I just need 2 more. Nope, not anymore. Dude stole my piece. Never mind. Came out of nowhere. Snatched my piece. Okay, starting over. Come on, AT. You can do this. Okay. There's a piece somewhere. Right, ET? There's a piece here somewhere. Not there. Oh, ET. Oh, ET. Damn it. ET. ET, work with me. Okay, ET. Let's get the story straight. You're a good game. You're not a bad game. We like you, ET, right? Nope, not there. Come on, ET. Oh, hey. There we go. It's a start. Okay. It's not looking good for you, ET. Okay. One more time, buddy. trying to understand these signs, ET. You're very confusing. Okay. Okay, ET. Okay. Come on. Okay. If I die this time, I think it's it. I can't do ET anymore. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's this. That's what bothers me. If he came out of the holes, you know, just fine, it wouldn't be as much of an issue. And also, I didn't just fall in the holes all the time. What did the flower do? What did the flower do? I've never come across the flower. I played this game as a kid a lot. Is it just a happy thing? Like, hey, look what you did. Good job, E.T. Okay, we got 2 pieces. Okay, come on. Get one more shot. Usually it's bad when you have Elliot come and get you and you only got 2 pieces. Because he only can get me one more time. And that's it. That one does not have one. What's this? No, it does not. Stuck in the hole. Damn it, E.T. This is it. This is the last chance. Yeah, we're stuck on this. Dang it. So we have to just get it from the side. Ish. Nope. Oh, that's the end of E.T. He's dead. Sorry, T.O. buddy. Oh, I got another one. Okay, this is the last one. Come on, E.T., you can do this. We gotta spell E.T. Ah, damn you son of a... Give me back my chip pieces! Give me back my chip pieces, you son of a bitch! Okay. E.T., you're dead. You're dead to me. That's it. That was terrible. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm done. Even though you give me another chance, that's it. No, we're done. We're not doing it. Oh, she wanted to do haunted house is what Key wanted. Let's do haunted house. I don't know how to play. We're gonna find out. Oops, let's do 1. And the lies. I am frightened. Now I can see. Ish. Key, you're back just in time to just started haunted house. What do I do in this game? Oh, there's a light. What do I do? Key. What do I do? Can you explain this madness? I'm too frightened. Spinning that mouse. Yes, 3, 2, 3, 4. No. Hey. No. So it's 3. Ghost. Spooky ghost. 4. No, spooky ghost. I'm guessing you have to get a pattern, right? No. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. So the button does a light. What is that signifying? Hey. On. Oh, this isn't Alphen Color Cave. This is a haunted house. If somebody wants to look up what I'm supposed to do, I would greatly appreciate it. Exactly the same. Okay, so I need to get to 3, and I did. Now what? I think I need to get to 3. Pair of eyes. I haven't played either in so long. It's 4. Oh! What is this, and why did I get it? Why am I getting things now? Oh, I think I'm in different rooms. That's what is supposed to be happening here. I think I'm in different rooms. The light scares them off. Okay. I have the candle. Yes, tell me, please. Just the order that I need to do things. Like, what do these things signify? This is very cryptic. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I died. But I can... That's so cool. So spoopy. This is the perfect Halloween game, if you want to be quite honest. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, at 0, 0, that's my number of light uses. It tracks that. 9, I think, is the amount of times I can get spooked. I'm looking for something. 9 spoops and you are out. Room 2 is full of scary things sometimes. And I'm traveling between rooms, right? These different signifiers are telling me I'm in room 3. I think. Okay, now I can see in the dark, but I don't know what that means. So that's saying like I can scare these guys. Or they run away from me when I do that. Okay, room 4. Okay. So yeah, I'm understanding. Oh, I got something. I see. I'm trying to collect some things to make something, but I don't know what necessarily. So I'm guessing there's. Okay, whoa. Okay, whoa. There's a lot of things. Okay. 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 Okay, so when I do that, I don't have that anymore. I don't want this. Right? Okay. Got a trophy of sorts. What does all this mean? Yes! 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 Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So you need to collect all the pieces to make a trophy and get out. You have 9 spoops, and it tracks how many times you use the light to scare the other things away. The other thing that I got, I think, is a weapon, but you can't have the weapon and the trophy pieces at the same time. Yes! I figured it out. Yes! That, I think, deserves some celebration of sorts. So, are you ready for my celebration dance? Ready? I won! Haunted house, what you gonna do? I won! Haunted house, what you gonna do? No spoops here, no spoops there, no spoops anywhere, 'cause I won the game. There's another use for the light too. What's the other use for the light? Is it to find the pieces? I'm guessing it's used also, that's how you find them. You can't pick anything up unless you have the light on. Am I right? I think. This is fascinating. This is fascinating. I'm totally down with this right now. Absolutely fascinating. Can't see the items that you have the match lit. Okay. And you can't pick them up either, I don't think. You have to have it lit. Yeah, this is how I play adventure games. This is like an adventure game, right? Where you have some tools. And so first things first is try to figure out what the UI means. What does it mean? One of the problems with ET is that it gets very cryptic and it's constantly changing. Find out what the UI means, and then realize that the numbers, like me, are moving between rooms because the colors change. And by going back, you could go back, and it's really interesting. The weird woo noise is the enemies blowing out your match. Oh, is that what that is? That is so cool. Dude, I like this. This is a really good Atari game. Haunted House is cool. Let's try stage 2. Oops. Oops. On. There. Starting stage. Oh. Okay. 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 What is stage? Okay, so those are stairs. Those are stairs. You can see that they're stairs. Okay. Oh, there we go. What, one piece? That's the weapon. They're floors. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Look at all the spoopy things. Okay, we need one more piece. Oh! I got spooked! I see. Okay. Oh my gosh. It done did spook me. There's nothing here. One more piece. There it is. Oops. I don't need that weapon. There we go! Electronic Games in 1983 stated that Haunted House's graphics were on the simple side, but the effect of creeping through the darkened rooms is very well done. They're not lying. That's for sure. They are not lying one bit. This is fascinating. This might... this is a really good game. It's interesting. You have this map, you have this layout, right? It's a simple layout, it's nothing crazy. But then, like, even just the little things... Alright, Capital J, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Seriously. I hope you enjoyed the Atari stuff, and thank you for sharing your story about Donkey Kong and your grandma. That is so cool! I wish I had a grandma like that. No, mine just quilted. And then I had a grandfather who had multiple wives in his life, and every time one died, he just got another. And he had like 6. It was gross. And none of them were nice. They were filthy old lady hookers. So, I'm envious of your awesome grandma. Thank you. Yeah, it was my pleasure. Adventure is hard. Adventure is great, but adventure is hard. I'm in love with Haunted House. Haunted House is really cool. I like Haunted House. I learned to appreciate Pitfall a lot more. A lot more. Anyone who can beat that high score, let me know. Throw the gauntlet down. Have a good night. I really appreciate it, man. That was really awesome. Yeah, we might have to call it a night. It's getting late. I had a ton of fun. This was really great. What's our schedule look like for next week? Let me see. Or this upcoming week. Let's see, week. So our schedule is we've got story time. So the 24th, which is Thursday, we're doing another Throwback Thursday. Probably play Castle Illusion because I started that up last week and I didn't finish it. And then FMV Friday begins. Oh, FMV Friday is going to be great. I'm not going to tell you what we have for FMV Friday. It's a surprise. The Sierra Saturday. We're going to play Sierra game. Most likely play Quest for Glory. It's my favorite. And maybe go through the whole series. Then back to Shinru Tuesday, the next Tuesday after that. And then Weirdness Day ends the day before Halloween. We're doing Weirdness Day. Weirdness Day is going to be weird. It's a super surprise. I cannot stress it enough. Do not miss Weirdness Day. Weirdness Day is going to be very, very weird. Alright, so what I'm going to do is send us on over to, let's see who's online. We're going to throw down to Taco Salad. We're going to rate him. Good old buddy Taco Salad. I wonder what he's playing. He's playing retro right now. It doesn't tell me. We'll figure it out. Everybody get in on this. Go say hi and go raid him. Thank you all for coming, by the way. I really appreciate it. Enjoy, guys. Have a good night.